Hey, beautiful people, you know what time it is. It's a chat with Rashina. And we're going to talk about this girl right here. We're going to talk about this picture. We're going to talk about what's going on, and we're going to continue to bring awareness to PCOS and endometriosis. This picture was taken in 2015. As you can see, I'm in the hospital. I'm actually getting ready to go into surgery. And I want you to notice how ashy I am. I remember my mama telling me after I got better, she says, I didn't want to acknowledge how ashy you were because I didn't want to scare you. But the fact that you were that ashy lets me know that you were losing so much blood, that your life was on the line, essentially. So 2015. So let me be clear and put a disclaimer out there. This is about female issues. So if you don't want to hear about it, just swipe away, swipe up. Especially in African American homes, we typically don't talk about this. And so this is just my job to bring awareness to something that I deal with. And here's the thing, when you're dealing with unseen pain, people think it's fake. When I would tell people that I am extremely lethargic, or that I have no energy, or that I have slept 12 hours of the day, people thought I was being extra. They didn't understand that because you couldn't see my pain, that didn't mean it was real. That's a message right there in itself. I was dealing with extreme pain, and I didn't know why. But I remember my mom kept telling me, you need to go to the doctor. Like, you don't have to deal with it. She was telling me her story and how she dealt with it, and how there wasn't a lot of medical knowledge advances about PCOS and endometriosis, especially, like I said, in Black community. We just kind of dealt with it. There were times where I would go to work and would have to sit down an hour and a half. There were times where I would pop so much medicine, so many pills, trying to alleviate the pain, that I'm surprised that my stomach still has a lining with the medicine that I was taking, because it was to the point that I was like chewing candy. Like, nothing would alleviate the pain. I would just be in bed, curled up in the corner with a heating pad with a corn sack. Corn sacks are amazing. If you don't have one, you need to get one. Dealing with this excruciating pain. And I remember in 2015, God stopped me. I was literally on the way to choir rehearsal, and God was like, you need to make a doctor's appointment and you need to go now. Like, it was a sense of urgency. So I made my appointment. I went to the doctor. I explained my situation to her, and she was like, I think you may have cysts on your ovaries, PCOS. And we're going to look to see if you have endometriosis as well. So did the ultrasounds, did all of that. She gave me some medicine first, and said begin taking this immediately. When they took my iron, excuse me, she said I was so deficient. I think I was taking pills 3 or 4 times a day to try to get my iron levels back up. My hemoglobin was extremely low. They thought I was going to have a blood transfusion before I could have the surgery because I didn't have enough blood in my body. So I went on, I did that, and they discovered that I did have cysts on my ovaries. I think I had maybe 2 or 3 cysts. One was extremely large. They said it was the size of a large grapefruit. It had hair. It looked yucky. And I thank God even for wisdom of the doctors, because she was like, we're going to send you to an oncologist because it looks cancerous. And even she did not perform my surgery because she was like, you're so complicated. I don't want to touch you. I'm going to send you to somebody that knows and is expertise in that subject. So I thank God for that she wasn't one that wanted to show how important she was or how she was the best doctor. No, she knew her lane, and so she chose to excuse me, send me to somebody that could really do something that could really help me. So I went and saw the oncologist. We scheduled the surgery. We made it happen. This day I was getting ready to go in surgery right here. I was smiling, still in pain, still hurting. What should have been an hour and a half surgery turned into 3 hours, almost 3 hour surgery. When they opened me up, that's when they discovered the endometriosis. And endometriosis is when your uterus sheds endometrium lining, and it's supposed to be dissolved out of your body. Well, mine didn't dissolve. It goes up and attaches to other organs. So when they opened me up, I was all over the place. Like, they had to put organs back in place because the endometriosis had been so rough on the insides of me. I lost the ovary, the endometriosis, and the cyst had destroyed one of my ovaries, so they had to remove that. They were telling me that how they had to peel organs apart and put them back together. he said, I remember the doctor saying, this is the worst case of endometriosis that I have ever seen. And I was just trying to deal with the pain. I was just trying to manage the pain. I was trying to self-medicate the pain when I needed something beyond that. And that's a message in itself. So many times we try to cope with things and we need something beyond our coping skills. I needed surgery. I needed to get healed. I needed to go beyond just what I knew and get over my fear and step into that surgery room. And so that's what I did. I remember the doctor telling me, she told me, once you get better, you're going to realize how sick you were. And I was just like, I am African American woman. I am woman. Hear me roar. I just was trying to muster through this horrific pain. So I spent several days in the hospital healing. Then I went to stay with my parents because you can't stay alone. I think I was with them for about a month on the healing journey. But my message in all of this is, see about yourself. Like, don't be afraid to go to the doctor. Don't be afraid to be your biggest advocate. And here's the thing, that's one of the biggest things that I had to do in this process is advocate for myself. I had to let them know the symptoms. I had to let them know when something wasn't working. I had to let them know when I didn't feel good or I didn't feel right or it didn't seem like that was going to work. I had to advocate for myself because nobody else will. So I had to push my healing. That's a word in itself as well. I had to push for my healing. And so I did all of that. Now, do I still deal with endometriosis? Yes, because there is no cure, but God is a healer. Do I still deal with PCOS? Yes, because I could go have a hysterectomy. I could get my other ovary removed, but children is still a real thing for me. And that's another thing that you deal with PCOS and endo, like having children becomes a real struggle. So that's something that I'm praying and I'm believing God for. Even at 41, I'm still believing God that he's going to open up my womb and I'm going to have a child when I get married. So yeah, let's keep it 100 when I get married. So I want you to advocate for yourself. I want you to push for yourself. And I want you to spread the awareness. I can't say it enough. African American women, see about yourself. I know that we have coined and we've been labeled strong, amazing women, and all of that is true. But that does not mean that you do not care for your body. And here's another thing. As being somebody that's plus size, it is proven clinical fact that it is harder for us to lose weight when you deal with PCOS and endometriosis, but you can be strategic. Rashina is learning what food she can eat, what food she can't eat, what things cause inflammation, what things cause bloating, and all of those different things. Stress levels, like hormone swings, all of that. I remember one time they put me on a medicine. They put me on a low dose birth control to try to alleviate the pain. And here's me again advocating for myself. I did not like the way those pills made me feel. I had thoughts that I should not have had in Jesus' name. And so I told my doctor, I'm not taking that anymore. I am on the healing journey. I have not figured it out. I'm still walking it out, but I had to advocate for me. And so if I can say anything and I can encourage you in any type of way, for one, God is a healer and God will give you a plan and he will show you how, and he will connect you with the right people for your healing, because he says he wishes above all things that we prosper and be in health, even as our soul prosper. So I want to encourage you, take care of yourself. Look at her. She is living proof that God is a healer. Look at that ash. Look at that white around the mouth. We would talk about people with white around their mouth right here, but I was in a lot of pain. But you see, I was trying to smile through the pain. I was trying to mask it with a smile. Fight for your healing, people. Fight for your deliverance. Fight for what you know God said you can have. And if God chooses to heal through medicine, that does not make him any less of a healer. When he uses somebody that he's placed that ability in to heal and help heal your body. So never negate the fact that you may have to go to the doctor. You might have to have a pill for a season. You might have to do some things that go against who or what you thought it was going to be for a season. But do what the crisis demands and get over the fear, because your fear may be keeping you in bondage and keeping you from your healing. I am a living testimony that God is a healer and he will restore. And I am walking out my healing. The Bible says some were healed as they went. PCOS and endometriosis awareness. Take care of yourself, ladies.